Support for the Leadoff on WGLT and WGLT.org comes from the Central Illinois Regional Airport, where family trips to Florida can begin and end close to home. Nonstop service on Allegiant Airlines to Tampa St. Pete and Orlando Sanford from Bloomington. Close, convenient, Sierra. More at CIRA.com.
Congressman Eric Sorensen says Republicans are walking away from the problem of rising health care costs. That's one of the things you need to know to start your day for Monday, December 1st. I'm Ryan Denham, and this is WGLT's The Leadoff. Now let's lead off with calls for Washington and Springfield to do more to lower health care costs. Here's WGLT's Eric Stock.
Obamacare subsidies are due to expire at the end of the month. It was a key point of contention in the recent record-long government shutdown. At a news conference at Carl Broman Medical Center in Normal, Central Illinois Congressman Eric Sorensen said without an extension, health care premiums will skyrocket.
We can't just say, oh, it's a problem, and then walk away from it. And I think that's what we're seeing some colleagues on the other side of the aisle do, as opposed to coming up with solutions.
Republicans have proposed taking that money for subsidies and putting it instead into health savings accounts for consumers. Sorensen says that won't do enough.
What good is the $3,000 that you have in a health savings account if you have cancer?
Sorensen is also pushing legislation that would lower prescription drug costs, an effort Democratic Representative Sharon Chung is doing at the state level. Chung backed a bill that passed in the Illinois Senate. It would close loopholes that have enabled drug makers to avoid providing discount medications to hospitals in underserved and rural areas.
I've been firmly on the side of getting this bill passed. As some of my other colleagues, it kind of became controversial. I think honestly is because Big Pharma came in and really muddied the waters, I guess if you'll say, when it comes to the talking points behind this bill.
Chung says she hopes lawmakers will give it another look in the spring session. For The Leadoff, I'm Eric Stock.
Here's some other stories we're following in the WGLT newsroom. Authorities are trying to figure out what caused a house fire that killed 2 people on East Holm Avenue in Bloomington. Killed in that fire were 40-year-old Tashika Stover and a juvenile male whose name and age have not yet been released. The IHSA says it will move 2 of the 4 remaining football state finals games to DeKalb because of a scheduling conflict with an ISU men's basketball game here in Normal. The snow canceled those 4 games this past Saturday. 2 will be played tomorrow at Hancock Stadium, the other 2 Wednesday at NIU's Husky Stadium. And a third accomplice to the 2023 killing of a McLean County man has been sentenced to 70 years in prison. Justin Kletz was sentenced for his part in the death of 31-year-old Jameer Bew of Bloomington, who was left in a ditch in Funks Grove Township. You can find more on these stories at WGLT.org. If you've run a 5K or been to any run or walk in Bloomington Normal the last 30 years, you probably know Mitch Hobbs. Often running, the shoe and apparel store that Hobbs has managed since 1995 is closing soon. Hobbs tells WGLT's Eric Stock there are a couple of reasons for that closure. Yes, he's retiring, but the business has also been getting increasingly squeezed by online competitors and staffing challenges.
Mail order is highly predominant now. In the industry, we know that you'll generally come in and buy 1 shoe from me, and then you'll buy the next 2 online, just because they'll probably be a little less expensive or it's more convenient. But that's generally the biggest thing here. And also it's just people's expectations have changed. And we knew this was coming 10, 15 years ago, that people's expectations of what we have or what we do is going to dramatically increase.
In what way? In terms of what you have to offer, in terms of price?
Yeah, and what we have to offer, the returns, the exchanges, price, color selection. Everybody, when I talk to other shops, they make so many colors, and one of the shoes that we do so well with, they do probably close to 15 or 18 colors, and it's just, you can't carry all those no matter what. So people come in, and we've done a lot of special orders, and we're not the only one. Everybody's doing a lot of special orders.
It sounds like some of this is symptomatic of what a lot of small businesses are going through. How much of it is that, and how much of it is unique to footwear?
Oh, that's a very good question. No, I think it's more probably small businesses. Yeah, I really do. Footwear, I know shops that are doing well, and shops that are doing well, exceptions to the rule as always, but the ones that are doing well are multiple shops, that are, they have multiple locations, if you will. And those are doing quite well. The people like ourselves that are a little bit are trying to figure out where we're at place-wise. So, to answer your question, it's probably more symptomatic of the small business completely, not just exclusively running.
Did this start with the big box stores and Walmart before Amazon came along and the other mega retailers?
Yeah. We started 30 years ago. We were down when Kuska said, hey, I just quit my other job over in Peoria working at Running Central because I've been in the biz since '84. So I worked over there for close to 10 years, and there was some change over there, and I came back over here. And Body and Soul out of Champaign just left, so there was a gap, if you will, and we took that. And so what that brought was service orientation, more selection, more widths and everything that small business has to have, and that became that. So, before the Dicks of the world and, those type of things came into play.
And it's interesting that this comes at a time when it seems like running is becoming increasingly popular in town. There are 5Ks, multiple 5Ks every single weekend. Gyms are full and all that. So how do you kind of square those two things?
Yeah, again, when we came over in 95-ish time period, the Lake Run Club and us, the local running club, became very symbiotic. Is that the right word? We meshed very well together. We actually, at one time, the Lake Run Club, and I'm on the board, we had over 1,000 members in our club. And again, things happen. People, in terms of that, pandemic changed a lot of that. People don't volunteer. So what's going on here is that people are still active, but they're not as active as they don't always want to do races. So races are increasing, but also prices and that sort of thing are. We're going to have to talk about that as both clubs, because I belong to the Starved Rock Club board as well. But those type of things. But again, people are active. There's no question about that, which is great.
That was Mitch Hobbs, manager at Often Running and Normal, speaking with WGLT's Eric Stock. You can hear the rest of their conversation tonight at 5 on WGLT's Sound Ideas. Hobbs says the store will likely close in the next few weeks. Chris Coos, Normal's mayor, owns Often Running and Vitesse Cycle Shop in the same building. Vitesse will stay open. Before we let you go, the Normal Town Council meets tonight at 7 at City Hall. On the agenda are changes to City Manager Pam Reese's contract, including a nearly 5% raise and a one-year extension to 2028. And that is it for today. I'm Ryan Denham. The show is produced by Cheyenne Brown. You can subscribe to The Leadoff on the NPR app or wherever you get your podcasts.